Conan O'Brien, I consider him to be one of the most obnoxious people in the world because of how he likes to persist and just sometimes push his jokes to the limit. But he's one of the most likable people too. He's actually a really funny person. He's one of the most popular late night show hosts, and right now he's more of a podcaster, and he has a show out. It's called Conan Must Go. I think we all remember. We've all seen the Hot Ones episode where he did his thing. I mean, he's one of the best guests on Hot Ones so far as of now, and his show is pretty awesome. I think it's one of the most delightful shows out there. Number one, starting with the opening, we're looking at the positives. Starting with the opening, the show it has one of the best openings that I've ever seen in any other show, because it takes what we are all familiar with when it comes to these travel documentaries and nature documentaries. Has a very good voiceover. I think it's someone that we all know, but anyway, it has a very good voiceover laid, and you think that they're going to take the story in a certain direction, but obviously they subvert it. The writing is very, very good, especially with that opening. It has one of the best openings ever, because it gives you an idea of who Conan is, where he's been, what he's trying to do, and what he's been doing up to where he is right now. So it gives you context without a lot of exposition, but still maintaining the tone of the show that you're about to watch. I thought that opening was effective in giving us an idea of who this person is. So today I'm reviewing episode 1. And episode 1 is more of Conan in Norway. And the best thing about this episode is because Conan is an American, as I said, obnoxious, all on people's faces and all on people's faces. And Americans don't have personal space, basically. They're all on people's faces. So it was interesting to go into a country whereby people are reserved. People don't talk a lot, people don't show a lot of emotions. And watching him trying to talk to people on the streets was one of the funniest things that I've ever seen. It's him struggling to get people to because comedians need to feed on other people energy. They need that energy. If they need a certain vibe in order to reflect or banter, they need that banter. And with the Norwegian people, they don't have that, because they're very no or yes. They're very direct. So his biggest struggle was, you can see sometimes he's trying to have a conversation with this person, and that person is giving them a no, yes, no, yes, no, yes situations. And so that was pretty cool. This show, in a way, is able to give you an idea of how people live in that particular country. It's about it's self-aware enough to give you an idea of how that country looks like and how people in that country live, but still well edited enough not to overdo it. So the self-awareness, there's one part that I thought it got me. Speed take, man. You have a fantastic drone shot. The show was continuing, and then it cuts to him just talking about how awesome the shot is, and then the drone just comes into his window. So there are moments of randomness like that within the show that makes everything more interesting. It doesn't feel like any other show that we've seen. It doesn't feel like, but I'm not saying that it's trying to be unique, but it's random and unique in its own way. We have James Bay, our man we've had our man in Japan, we've had our man in Italy, we've had our man in India. All of those are travel documentaries with James Bay going throughout these countries. And they have beautiful shots, but they kind of feel like what you'd expect a travel documentary to look like. But this one feels more, with Conan O'Brien, it feels more random. It feels more disjointed. It's structureless. So you are everywhere all at once. He goes to see two of his fans of the podcast, records a song, and he goes to actually take it to a radio station. And the radio presenter, when he speaks in that particular language, goes like, this song is coming from a very needy former American star or something. I thought that was funny. It's just so self-aware that the show feels different and it becomes entertaining, because as much as it was written if you look at the credits, it shows that it was written by ABCDEF. I don't know the people who wrote that, but it feels improvised. It feels like they were doing some things on the go. It feels like they were just going to these particular places, recording, having just improvised, do what you want to do, and then we'll go and cut and put everything together. And so that makes this particular episode stand out. There's a place that he goes and they go to this small village where they used to dress like Vikings, and so that in itself also very, very random. Some things happen that you can actually see them happen on the go. It doesn't feel scripted. Like there's an incident with a cock that's doing this thing in the background, and it goes like, I gotta take this out. So that was pretty cool. Still on the randomness, apart from that village, they have to leave the airport in order to leave that particular town to go to Oslo, and then their car gets stuck somewhere on the road, and that is turned into its own thing. So also that was unique. Basically what I'm trying to say is that this feels very, very random, but that is what makes it entertaining. Plus the people he gets to meet and the conversation that they have, it's like they had the structure, but they did not have, they did not plan the dialogue. So it's like they set the scenario and then they just improvise everything. And that is what makes everything, special. There's one instance he meets these ladies who are knitting, and they have a knitting club, and he goes into it and he turns it into something different. I don't think also it was planned. He meets a couples therapist, and that just goes into its own different direction away from actually couple therapy and then the dating culture. So you see, that's what I'm saying about Conan. Conan knows how to step away from what we're used to. Yes, he's annoying. Yes, he's obnoxious. Yes, he can be like over the top sometimes, but he knows how to identify what people are used to and then turn it around and make it something more enjoyable. Yeah, you're getting the same thing, but he's find a way to tap into the small details that people actually miss and then make fun out of that and bring out some aspect about those small things. The ending was pretty interesting for one particular character. I think it's called Kai, because when they were shooting, Conan told Kai to do something and Kai did it, and now it has just evolved into something else. So that got me off guard because I didn't see that coming, and I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. And it goes to show what kind of a guy that Conan is. I'm not saying that he's a perfect dude. I personally, I don't think I can actually stand him in the real world, because as I said, yeah. And the thing they did about his, what I keep saying, obnoxious with this particular show is that edit plays a big role into everything. The show is like 46 minutes, and so they were able to edit away some of the things. If it didn't go too far, with some of the, like when they're having the therapist and they're having that conversation, they cut at the right point. The car incident, they cut at the right moment. The drone incident, there's a scene at the end when he's walking with a drone, and that they cut at the right moment. So editing helped cut some of what I consider to be the most annoying aspects about Conan O'Brien. And so basically this is one of the shows that I would highly recommend. It's just fun. It's just pleasant. It's a pleasant experience watching him trying to understand all these cultures and trying to fit in as, a needy comedian. It's a comedy show. It doesn't take away from giving you an idea of the culture and how people live within, for example, Norway. If I was to rate this, I would give this 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, I had a great time with this. I was laughing. I was learning new things. They were able to cram in a lot of things in this particular show. And the editing was on point, and the pacing is very well paced. It's very well edited, and it has a fantastic opening. When I talk about a fantastic opening, it's the kind of opening that you are unlikely to see in any other show. It's very well written. The comedic timing, they subverted a lot of things that you would expect from an opening, and so that makes this just a wholesome show. So basically that's it. Remember to always watch what you enjoy and enjoy what you watch. I shall see you on the next one. I'm on an arc to 100K, so please subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one.